Okay, so we dealt with last week's issues about the things that Jose should change, etc., etc. If we're looking at the things that are going to be changing, obviously we're looking at transfers, man. Obviously the World Cup's on. Real Madrid got a new manager, and if you're looking at the Ronaldo Bale thing, of which one might come, which one might stay, etc., who wants the bigger contract, all of that jazz.
Yeah.
But the manager's gone. Oh, sorry, they've got a new manager, should I say?
Gaffer.
Sorry, the Spain manager's gone, but they've got a new gaffer now.
Yeah.
How much of that is gonna like put a bad light on what we're trying to do in terms of the Bale thing, the Ronaldo thing?
Bro, I don't think it should. Personally, Bale and Ronaldo are the kind of players that, if you're a team like Man United, you have a reserve for these men. You know the ones there that shouldn't affect our transfer activity. Like when you're a top club, if these players become available, you spend the money. We're Manchester United, you've seen the club's revenue and turnover. We can afford to spend 400 million a season on players if we want. So we could easily go and spend 150, 200 million. And if these men become available, spend another 100 million. So what? Like we put enough money into the club. Do you know what I mean?
The money's there. 100%.
The money's there.
Yeah,
there's never been an issue of the money. The problem is the way our club's being run is that we're getting fleeced. We're getting fleeced, bruv. Like really and truly, when Jose came in, we make enough money for the Glazers to say to Jose and Ed Woodward, like, boom, what players do you want?
Almost
what
like
you need?
Pep,
like what Pep
bam,
got?
bam, bam,
you want 6-7 man? We'll give you 6-7 man because we have the money to spend what City spend and more, and don't have to worry about financial fair play.
Because that's the thing. You look at PSG, like you're saying, having to submit all these documents and things for.
We don't need to submit nothing, bro.
Like we are, although we're obviously not the best team in the world anymore.
Yeah, but we're still the biggest
club in terms of revenue and entity and as a brand. So like you're saying, the transfer fees and money that should be designated for that should not be a problem.
Money should never be an issue with our club, and that's why I think a lot of people need to realise. Yeah, I get onto Jose and I get onto the manager, but fundamentally, how our club is run is very amateurish. It's not good enough. Like we got away for so long with Sir Alex Ferguson running the club from top to bottom pretty much, when in reality in modern football it doesn't run like that. Every club has a director of football, they have scouts, they have people that deal with different things. We got Ed Woodward, who's a commercial guy dealing with football transfers. What does he know about football, blood? What does Ed Woodward know about football, bro? Do you know what I mean? Ed Woodward only gets man sponsors. Do you know what I'm saying? United would be running around with pot noodles on their arm if they offered us enough money, bruv. That's the reality of it. Ed Woodward doesn't know anything about football, care anything about football. Do you know what I'm saying? He was the one that helped broker the deal for the Glazers to take over the club. He's a money man. That's all he knows. He shouldn't be dealing with our transfers. Jose's giving him a list. What the hell does he know?
How different would it be if then, so say, maybe the topic's shifting a bit, but if he wasn't in the position that he's in, if we had a different, so when David Gill left, obviously, he came in. So if Edward wasn't there, we had a different guy doing that. Would that?
But I don't think we need a different guy. We need a different structure. Do you know what I mean? David Gill was MI5 blood. He was the guy, innit? Like, he could get us anyone.
He was a
you know what I'm saying? Man had a red button to every club we are getting.
He's
Man.
like a Liam Neeson.
That's it. He doesn't even need to go there. Man's getting transfers done. You seen Ed with the duffel bag and that turning up bro. Like we need a chief scout. We need the directors of football. We need people like that because when you see like for instance, and Gabriel Jesus is the prime example. Look at the way they wrapped that up.
Quick and then
he said he's coming in January. We don't have no one to do that. Do you know what I mean? Whereas at City, they've actually built a structure where they're getting players scouted. They've got a director of football. They've got all of these things. So a lot of the times, like it's not Jose's fault that we don't get players because we got Mr. Bean dealing with transfers, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. You know what I mean? Like the club is stuck in the past. Like I mean, Fergie was an anomaly. Wenger was an anomaly. These guys that are involved in every part of the club. Now, when you look at the most successful clubs, they've got scouts all over the place, directors of football.
It's a much bigger project, isn't it? Than rather one.
The thing is, if your club has a philosophy, then you have a scout and a director of football. It doesn't matter who manages the club because you know what the ethos of the club is. You bring in players that fit that ethos. Do you know what I'm saying? United right now, we don't have an ethos. Like, when you look at Mourinho, he's typically bought tall players, big players, strong players, and then we get Fred out of nowhere. Yeah, that don't look like a Jose signing.
Is that like what we said about our last?
I'm happy with it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm saying that like it's a sign that do we really know where we're going? Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like,
and then that's a whole nother topic of what's our identity, what's our brand of football,
precisely.
What is our short and long term aims in terms of is it sign players who are there's not much long termism in them in terms of they're 30. Let's just get a trophy over the line. A major trophy, or is it
Well, there you go. And again, Jose
we're not sure.
typically brings in older players. Then out of the blue, we got Delo coming. We're getting linked with Lengley and next man that are 22 years old, but we need experience now. So it's like, bruv, like, hard, make up your mind. What are we doing?
In terms of the World Cup then, so on that, the first point that we'll talk about, in terms of the World Cup, how much of that is going to affect like our transfers that we're trying to, even just away from Ronaldo and Bell? So
bro, I don't think it should, blood. I remember Cesc Fabregas, if I remember correctly, I don't know if it's a Euros or World Cup, but he signed for Chelsea and he had the shirt in his hotel room, blood. Yeah. Like, bro, we're Man United, bro, man can get these things done, you know. Do you know what I'm saying?
If it was done,
bro, I've signed contracts on my iPhone, blood. Signed it and sent it over, blood. Like, you don't need to be there.
Done off my car insurance.
That's it. That's it, bro. You don't need to be there. You don't need to be there and sign and do the pen thing, because man signed Fred, but it hasn't been announced yet because he's away. So we could still be signing, man. I don't want to hear this World Cup thing, bro, because these man train for 2 hours a day. Then they're on their phones. We could get them man can sign deals.
Agents, it's not hard.
If their agent said, "Yo, do you want to sign for Man United? Yes or no?" Yes, cool. Holler at me when it's done.
I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, it's just when you're playing FIFA, you're doing an Alex Hunter story. Yeah?
That's it.
It's the same thing, bro. That's what it is. He'll ask you, they've just been on the phone, they're interested. Do you want to go there?
This idea that players have to be physically there to sign for clubs, and throw that in the bin now.
It's not the 90s. It's not
like it doesn't matter. Jose is doing some RT Russia Today business and doing his commentary in that, which whatever in it. But my,
what do you make of that?
I don't know, bro.
Jose the pundit.
I feel like he's the only manager that's active in football doing that. So I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like our manager should be preparing for next season, personally.
That's what I'm thinking. Because I know he's got a job to do and they've got money to make, etc.
But then if Jose's on this celebrity,
if you've got everything sorted,
if Jose's on this, but again, that's Jose's profile. Yeah, that's what Ed Woodward likes, isn't it? Yeah. He's got that kind of celebrity profile that kind of fits in with the Galactico crap that he's trying to push, innit? But I'm not on this Galactico thing, because remember the Real Madrid Galacticos didn't win nothing. You need to actually think about that. For all the man that Real Madrid bought, the R9s, the Zidanes, all of them, when they were together, they didn't win nothing, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Do you know what I'm saying, bro? Them times Barcelona were bringing through academy players and actually sticking to their philosophy and playing a certain type of football, and they won everything. Not Real Madrid. So this whole Galactico thing is proven to actually not bear too much fruit, bro.
So you expect to fully sign the players that were in? Obviously, there's other contributing factors that might not, but in terms of the fact that the World Cup's on, that shouldn't alter too much what we're trying to do. If man like Ed has sorted it out properly,
I think if Jose had a plan and a list like he said he had,
then he would.
I don't think the World Cup has anything to do with it. I feel like people are using the World Cup as an excuse to say man are not doing business, but the reality is these footballers ain't that busy, bruv. Like they're training and then they got the rest of the day off, bruv. Like I play professional football, bruv. You train for 2 hours, then you're on your bike riding around the village, recovering, ice baths and that, bruv. It's not a busy life.
So the only thing that could really alter obviously is maybe price tags in terms of how the football world is today. If someone has a good World Cup, we've seen it in the past before. I remember with James Rodriguez, that World Cup he had, and then he went Real Madrid, innit?
Yeah, and then he's done nothing since then. Then he went to Bayern Munich, then do nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So you're talking about the football world gone mad. That's really the only thing we can expect to change. But
I wouldn't buy anyone based on World Cup performances, because we saw Diouf and Diao for Liverpool. You know what I mean? Bro, there's too many things. Senegal done the little Bandunu thing because people didn't know how to deal with them, didn't know what to expect, and then they shot people. Andre Arshavin as well went to Arsenal and he was dead.
I remember Royston Drentford.
Yeah, but he was a sick under 21 though. I used to watch him in under 21. He was bad.
That tournament, you think, why he's
going
out? He was
it's attitude. Talent can only get you so far in the game, innit?
Exactly, that proves.
And that's what it is. But I think that if Ed's got this list, then he needs to deal with it, innit? Because we still got Mo Farah at left back, and that needs to be dealt with, innit? Yeah. I heard some rubbish about us trying to do these intricate swaps with Juventus and all. Bruv, just give them Darmian, bro. Like it's Darmian. Just give him. Just let him go. Like, do you know what I mean? We don't need him at the club.
Okay, so that's the transfer policy covered in terms of Jose and stuff. Next topic. Obviously it has been talked about a lot since our last show. Anthony Martial. Now, we've got feelings on that. Everyone's got feelings and opinions on that. Where do you stand with the first news that obviously his agent come out and said he doesn't want to stay? We've been negotiating for however many months and we still haven't reached an agreement. That shows that Man United ain't that serious. Then the next stage of it, which was that Man United are saying we don't want to sell him.
Yeah.
Then to the next rumours, which is that now there's obviously a 75 million price tag on his head. Obviously it's all rumours, there's a load of unconfirmed stuff, etc. But just the notion of it, where do you stand on that?
Firstly, I want to put something out there, because you get like a split in the United fan base. They got this thing that they call Martial FC, bro. Martial FC doesn't exist. Let me tell you something. Martial, is the most popular player at the club for a reason, blood, because he is the embodiment of a Manchester United player. So all these people that are saying, he's rubbish for whatever, you don't like him, bruv. We go to Old Trafford, How many football players in that whole squad have a song? How many?
Exactly.
How many?
Him
and Dave.
That's it.
That's it. Even Pogba ain't really got a song like that.
Pogba ain't got his own song.
Bruv, even when Martial's not playing,
warming up on the bench.
Even if Martial's not playing, they're singing his name. There's a reason why he sells more shirts than any of the players in our club, because he's the embodiment of the club. He's young, he's fearless, he's skillful. He's the only player that has you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. So if you don't love that guy, it shows me that you don't really remember why you support the club, bruv. Or maybe the reason why you support the club is because your dad supported the club or your granddad supported the club and they handed you a shirt, bruv. But if you really think about the DNA of the club, from the best, the Charlton and all these men, bruv, not just the Ryan Giggses, bruv, even before that, even our average players like the Kanchelskis and them man ran with the ball and excited us.
Lee Sharp was doing that.
Bruv, these men, we've always had players that ran at players, committed them, bruv. Even with the so the Poborskis and the Kanchelskis, these men, we had an ethos that literally we were just running at man and committing them. When Martial gets the ball, you're on the edge of your seat.
And even if it doesn't work out, he goes on a run, he loses the ball. It's that mentality and that forefront thinking.
He just turned 22, bruv. When Ronaldo just turned his age, he was still turning the ball over for us. Yeah. And we didn't care.
Yeah. Giggs used to turn the ball over weekly.
Giggs used to try every game. Giggs used to drop the shoulder, come inside, lose it, and nobody got on his back. You know why? Because that's what we wanted. Yeah. Now all of a sudden, they're like, it's too inconsistent, this, that, and all this rubbish. Even though his output is higher than any other player per minute.
And that's the thing. That's the thing I want to touch on, because I got a bit of stick on social media, on Twitter, with some fans who were just saying, you're just, like you're saying, Martial FC and all that. This made up thing. That's
we are Manchester United FC.
You know
we know the DNA of the club.
This made up thing. But the thing that, in terms of saying like, his bottle's gone, or he doesn't want to stay and fight for his place and that, I just think there's a certain element of, yes, of course, he's a young player. He's going to get patches of inconsistency. Jesse Lingard had amazing patches of form this season and then tailed off. Yeah. Rashford has come in games and done very well. The Liverpool game stands out to me off the top of my head, but then was inconsistent.
Even the Liverpool game, Rashford didn't play well. But
do you know what I mean? Them two isolated incidents were the flashes of moments that we needed. Right. I think the whole epitome of our season has been inconsistent. So to single out just Martial for that, I think is wrong. And secondly, his output, like you're saying, his output compared to other players,
everyone in the last 3 years, and even up to Sanchez coming, 3 of the 5 months he got Player of the Month. He got 11 goals and 10 assists, pretty much from an inconsistent spell in the team, because him and Rashford was swapping bench, and whoever started on the bench would score.
And we were happy. We were happy with season. I remember speaking to fans. They were saying, I remember saying, who do you think should start? And fans would literally say, I'm happy with, you look at a defender. If you've been playing for 70 minutes against flipping Rashford, he's been running you out.
You see Martial on the bench, bruv, taking his chain off, bruv.
You're thinking, Jesus Christ. So, and that's where we should really be coming from.
And Sanchez came in and disrupted the whole thing. And not only did he disrupt that, but also Jesse's goals dried up too.
There was a patch where that happened.
Pogba's performance dried up too, because Sanchez demands so much of the ball from everyone else, and he's so indisciplined that actually he gets in the way of everyone else, and he smothers the work of the players. And nobody is giving Sanchez the same amount of stick that they're giving Tony, and Sanchez is nearly 30 years old. So again, I feel like a lot of fans feel like they have to choose between the player and the manager. You don't, innit? Just call it what it is. Like Sanchez's acquisition has, he's had 1.5 good games, a half against City and one game against Tottenham.
Spurs. And that's what another fan was saying to me on Twitter, saying, was it not Sanchez who took us through to the semi-final? Was it not Sanchez?
Yeah, and then in the final he did nothing, and he should have been taken off. But instead they took off Jesse.
He's immune to it. He's been immune to it.
But you see
Jesse
was
starting to get into the game. I remember that. Where Rashford just had a shot as well.
And I'm not getting onto Sanchez because I've got a Sanchez scarf, blood. Man, no, I've got an Alexis Sanchez
He just
scarf.
needs to find his best form.
Do you know what I mean? I'm a big fan of Alexis Sanchez, but I'm a fan of the Sanchez that played for Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? We haven't seen that.
Yeah, we ain't seen it yet.
So it's one of them ones where I was the first to buy an Alexis Sanchez scarf. I was excited. I was thinking, finally we've got a proper number 7. But that shirt weighs a lot, bro.
Yeah. You got to step up to the mark.
You've got to step up to the mark. So I feel like Martial is very unjustly criticised. I think his numbers speak for itself, and I'm not someone who likes to cling to numbers, but I show people numbers
That means something.
when clearly their eyes aren't seeing anything. I show you numbers that mean stuff. I want to see what your output is as a player per 90 minutes played. That's what I want to see.
Because that's what really
matters.
Yeah,
because like with Lukaku, he's had a decent season, but when you look at his output per 90 minutes, considering he doesn't get rotated, it's not very good. You look at Lacazette, he's got better numbers per 90 minutes, and all these other players, because it's what you do per 90. Because if you're bringing on a player for half an hour and he's scoring goals, and you've got a player that's playing 90 minutes and they're scoring goals, it's not the same.
Solskjaer, man, that's what he was.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's all about what's effective, innit?
Yeah.
And Martial is our most effective attacking player, and he's been isolated and alienated by the manager.
It's important that I look at both sides of it, because you know there is two sides to it. What about the side that, you know, he has been inconsistent? What about the side that maybe he should show a bit more grit to say, I'm at the biggest club in the world, I should stay and make Jose pick me?
Yeah, but
that's what I'm not saying I agree with that. I'm not saying you agree. I'm just saying, what about that argument?
What I would say is, I feel like if Jose was a different type of manager, cool. Jose's shown that once he's had it with you, he's had it with you, bruv. You know what I mean? Look at Luke Shaw. Like, he's been trying to play his way back in. He's coming, he's played well, and he gets dragged out anyway. He keeps
getting knocked back.
Back out, bruv. Like, if Jose don't like you, innit? Like, that's consistent throughout his whole career. People say Martial needs to do more. Cool. Statistically, he's the best attacking player we have. He was coming off the bench and scoring, and he got 3 players of the month, and he still got benched, bruv. Like, what more?
So you think maybe from his point of view, he's thinking,
he's probably like, what am I doing? Yeah, he is better than this.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, innit? Because I was having this discussion with a few of my other Manchester United friends. They were saying, if Martial leaves United, it's a step downwards, But bruv, Martial's 22. He can go somewhere, have 3 good seasons, and at 25, he'll be the same age as Mo Salah. And then he can go to Bayern Munich. He can go to Real Madrid, Barcelona, because he's that level of footballer in terms of talent. Let's not forget about it. As soon as it looked like we weren't keeping him, Real Madrid are interested, Chelsea are interested, Tottenham are interested, Bayern Munich are interested, Juventus. This guy is quality. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of them things where if he went to a Borussia Dortmund or a Juventus or something for 3 seasons, the level at which he would glow up would be mad.
And is that the most concerning thing? The fact that
we're not
mind readers, exactly.
And that's the level we are.
You can't always say what's definitely going to happen, but if you're a football person, you can clearly see the ability the boy's got, and if he plays in an environment that is conducive to how he wants to develop, he's gonna flourish.
But he's gonna be gone. You got to realize about Martial. If you're on social media, Anthony Martial's not a Jesse Lingard or a Paul Pogba or Marcus Rashford that's out dancing and messing around. If he was, then you could question his work ethic, innit? But that guy is football and family. Yeah,
he leads a simple life. It's him and
he
his
leads
daughter.
a very simple life. You can tell he loves
chilling.
football. He just wants
and
to
he's
play.
Got one on the way.
He just wants to play.
Yeah, he just wants.
Do you know what I mean? And he's not playing at the moment. So when people say it's a step down, bruv, we have to be honest. As a club, we're the biggest club in the world. But in terms of level, we are at Borussia Dortmund level, Atletico Madrid level, Juventus level. We're not at the Man City, Barcelona, PSG, Barcelona level, Real Madrid. We're not at that level yet. We have the spending power, but actually, in terms of man for man and how we play, we're not near them. So because of that, if he went to a Bayern Munich, to a Borussia Dortmund or Atletico Madrid or a Juventus, that's not a step down, bruv. That's a step across, because these men could beat us.
Yeah, easily.
You see what I'm trying to say? So
it's
not really. It's only a step down on paper. He's playing with better players if he goes to Atletico Madrid,
and he's got a better chance of getting into the international level of stuff, which he's probably looking at.
But that's
what I tweet saying he's probably looking at Pogba's Instagram story where they're all turning up, the boys on the plane. And if I was him, I'd just be thinking, oh, damn.
And when I see Ousmane Dembele and them man playing out there, and I'm thinking,
it's the same. He's not doing anything different.
He's not doing nothing different, bruv. I'm like, Tony could do that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I feel like his agent has come out and said that he loves the club and he loves the fans, and that's the reason why he stayed. And we know that's the fact, bruv. Because when we're singing his songs, he's always looking over at us like he knows, he could feel how much we love him. And they said if not for us, they would have probably handed a transfer request last season.
On the last bit of this topic before we move on to the next one, what about the bit that he wants to go now? Let's say
then let him go.
And exactly what price are we looking and what are we looking to get?
Rumours are saying 75 M's. I think that's decent because we bought him for 36. 36 plus add-ons, and it still hasn't gone up to 50 something. We got him 36. I reckon 75 million in this climate's good. Let him go. because he's too good to sit on our bench, bruv. Currently at the level we're at, I feel like Jose doesn't fancy him, so let him go.
Well, why people who say just good riddance, then he weren't good enough anyway.
Well, you can say that, but you know what it is, yeah.
He didn't perform. He didn't. In 3 seasons, he's got like 19 goals or 20
They
goals.
say that, but the game before Alexis Sanchez signed for us, bruv, he scored a winning goal, bruv, for us that dragged us out of nowhere because we weren't playing well.
Yeah,
so
that was against
like,
Burnley.
you know what I mean? And then I remember
that's when I ran up to Ed
I remember
and said,
his
"Is he
goal,
signing?"
his goal, Everton as well. The goal he scored that whipped top bins, and then
Jesse scored one after that, innit?
Even the FA Cup goal as well. I'll never forget, bruv.
Against Everton.
Yeah.
In the semis, man.
And the Liverpool goal. Man. Listen, Tony's given us some memories, bro.
And that's the thing.
Like, I nearly broke my neck, bro, when he scored that. Because I remember I was with my boy Chase, that I do the False 9 show. And when he scored, Chase jumped on my shoulders, bro. Like, and literally, like, I didn't expect it.
That's just the perfect way to start United.
That's
career,
it, bro.
He
Like,
come on the other day, I think, and you know when Sky Sports do that whole memory thing. Just gave me goosebumps just rewatching.
He's given us so many memories, for such a young kid. So I think a lot of people, football fans, a lot of them are very short-sighted, innit? Like, you're only as good as your last game, you say, innit? But Tony's given us so much. You know what I mean?
Yes. That's the Martial thing. I mean, again, it's all about opinion. I've been speaking to a lot of you guys this week who have said, Flex, you're having a laugh. He never wanted it. He doesn't want to stay and fight for his place. Good riddance. That's fair enough. That's your opinion. Where do I sit on it? I think, look, if we're looking to be the best in the world, you need to keep our best players. And someone like Martial, with his ability, I just think he's got so much more to give. And in an environment, like I said earlier, in an environment that aids him and is given to him that can help him flourish, I think he can achieve big things.
And that's the same for Rashford as well.
How I feel.
That's the same for a few other men.
Yeah.
I believe, hopefully, McKenna coming in will have a more hands-on role with the attacking side of play and hope improve our young players, because Rashford and Martial haven't improved. Neither have Pogba, like under Jose.
I can't see it. Yeah, like, and if the club is standing firm and saying we don't want to sell you, Anthony, we want you to stay, then brilliant. You know, but there is that bit of, has he reached that point where he's like, I'm done, I don't want to stay here, then you can't make him stay.
The human in me wants Martial to go and play football.
For his own career.
I know what it's like when you want to play football and you want to play a certain way, but the Manchester United fan in me is like, bruv, I hope the fax machine breaks again. Yeah, you know, I don't care, you know, like, I want this guy at the club because 100%. This guy is easy.
100%. Drop your views in the comments in the boxes below. We want to know what you guys think, and don't get onto each other, start arguing and disrespecting other people's opinion because they think this and they think that. It is all about
ultimately
opinion,
we all want the same thing, innit? We all want the same thing.
Exactly.
Just me personally supporting this club very much because of the likes of Eric Cantona and the Ryan Giggs. Is like, those are the kind of guys, like, when you was in the playground you wanted to be them guys. The young Manchester United fans want to be Anthony Martial, bruv. Like, he's literally like the embodiment of everything that I loved about this football club from the beginning. Do you know what I mean? So
that's why you have that.
That's why I have that affiliation with him, bro. Because since Ryan Giggs, we haven't had a player that goes at players like Tony. Like, we haven't. We haven't. You know what I mean? Like,
Memphis was supposed to do that.
Memphis didn't do it. Yeah, Cristiano did it for a little bit, but Cristiano changed his game and moved inside, bro. Do you know what I mean? And he was taking free kicks and just doing different things, bro. But literally, you can say since Cristiano Ronaldo, then we haven't had someone like that. Ryan Giggs done it for a longer time in terms of how he ran at players, and I just think that Martial's the only player at the club we have like that. I'm only happy to see him go if we buy 3 players like that, bro, because we need that.
Well, now Griezmann's obviously come out and said that he's staying after all of that.
Is that
just a lack of ambition, or do you see it as they just gave him a good contract?
I'm going to give everyone, like, I'm going to put it like this to you, Antoine Griezmann lives in Madrid. So he lives in one of the nicest cities in Europe. It's hot. He's got a Spanish wife. You know what I mean?
Why move?
Like, why move, bro?
Well, even if it was to Barcelona, though.
Yeah, but why? Like, do you know what I'm saying?
He's not going to win more there.
But forget that, bruv. Like, do you move to Barcelona and be Messi's backup dancer? Like, that's why Neymar left. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that is FC Messi there, blood. Like, he just signed a new, signed a new deal, like, on like for $1 million a day or something. Like, bruv, Griezmann is like one of the poster boys of French football. You're gonna go to Barcelona to play backup to Suarez and Messi. Why, bro?
When he's the top don at thing.
That's why Neymar left, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so it didn't make sense to go to Barcelona. Do you know what I'm saying? So he's looked at that. You can't go Real Madrid anyway, and if you do, then you're Ronaldo's backup dancer, or you could be the main man. be the focal point at Atletico
And let them try
Madrid.
and build something around you.
But they're building a team around him already. He told them to go and get Lamar, and they've gone and they've basically tied that
that's
up.
mad.
And that's
Yeah,
his boy
sure,
from the French squad. So like
Okay.
they're
Alright.
building a team around him, his lifestyle. What he did was absolute common sense to stay at Atletico Madrid. He's at a manager. He's obviously been given assurance by the manager that he's not going to leave. He's got a nice setup. Like, why should he leave? You know what I mean? He shouldn't leave. But what he shouldn't do is piss people around and waste their time.
Releasing some big old video just
You
to
know
say
what I
you're
mean?
staying.
Come on,
I've just
bro.
put a tweet out saying I'm staying.
Whole Netflix series on that.
I know.
You know? You know, like,
And the
oh.
thing is, I think it kind of like peeved me off a little bit more because I think there's a slight
Part
little
of you
hope.
wanted
Yeah, I was
him.
thinking.
I feel like when we gave
knew,
Sanchez
we
the
knew.
7 shirt, I thought it was
Yeah,
over, innit?
we
But
knew.
I clung to a bit of
It would have
hope.
been nice, but it
A
was,
bit of hope. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, bruv. I just feel like United know what they need to do. If we're serious, we need to strengthen in the positions that we need to strengthen. And we don't need to worry about this Galactical crap, man. I would be so happy if United didn't sign no big name players and our biggest name player was like Milinkovic-Savic. I'd be happy with that, bro. We need a left back. We need a centre back. We need another central midfielder, and we need a right midfielder. I don't even care. I don't want names, bro.
I've seen a few rumours that Luke Shaw's been fighting for his fitness training 6 weeks earlier.
I hope
than
so.
normal.
Do you know what I
Do you
mean?
think
Like,
there's
he's not
any
in a
life
local
for him
chippy,
left?
like, you know, bruv, I'm
Is there
such a
any
big
life for
fan
him?
of
Can
Luke
he
Shaw,
survive?
bruv. Like,
Can
he
he
needs to
survive?
lose a couple stone, bruv. If he needs
Yeah.
help, he can shout, man. I'll give him some nutritional tips on that, bruv. Take him around the park, but he needs to lose weight, fam. But I believe in him.
Do you think he can make it?
I believe in him.
I hope so. Because I think we're looking at maybe potential replacements and all this jazz, but we've got one right there.
No, I think he'll be
He's
the
there,
understudy.
and when he's played,
I think Luke
he's
Shaw's
played
got to be the
well.
understudy in it because I haven't
Yeah.
heard any news of him getting moved on. So he'll be the understudy to the new left back that comes in, and hopefully they can rotate because if we're gonna attack on all fronts, we need 2 players in it.
Right, before we finish, I've got to touch on this. Again, it was a topic that was madly spoken about since our first show.
Yeah.
CR7, man. CR7. Like, obviously, we saw what he done in the World Cup. Would you take him back?
He's
and
an
if
alien.
so...
let me say this. I have been saying from the beginning, I don't want him back, yeah? I want Bale. But I changed my mind.
That takes a big thing. This is the most opinionated guy probably on YouTube.
You know why I
And
changed
he's
my
actually
mind?
just
But, bruv, I've
backtracking.
always said, that if I will have an opinion, but if you can show me like a good case, then I'm always open to change my mind on everyone. Do you know what I mean? Just how much I hammer Jose. I hate his football. I hate his
I think I'm
attitude.
correct.
But
Yeah.
with Jose, I always said it's not always his fault that we don't get players because we got Postman Pat, bloody Mr. Bean doing our thing. Like, so it's not always Jose's fault. Like, he did want Perisic. I see why he wanted Perisic because we got Lukaku. If we had someone that could cross, cool. That's not Jose's fault. The way we set up is his fault. Do you know what I mean? But when it's not his fault, I'll say it's not his fault.
So what if... Would
Bro,
what
I
it
take
cost, would it-
Ronaldo
no matter what,
tomorrow, bro. If
no
it's
matter what it costs, no matter what it
200
costs.
million, pay that, blood.
even for one
For
season.
2 seasons, bro. Cristiano Ronaldo,
Yeah.
bro. I'm like he's 33, but he's not really 33 because when you look
plays
at the
like a
way he looks
29-year-old.
after himself and that, he's not 33, fam. He's not in it. Him and Messi have both declined, but Lionel's declining faster because Ronaldo's just so like on this nutrition thing. Like his body fat ain't moved in like 3 years.
Still
blood.
looks ripped,
Like
yeah.
he's on stuff in it,
Still
like
looks ripped.
bruv. And if he comes in, that means Lukaku might actually have to sit on the bench for a little bit, which I don't mind.
Just
innit?
imagine.
So,
Just imagine.
Fam.
Where? I know this is gonna sound crazy because
where
you could
would
just
you
say
play?
anywhere. But
bruv,
where
I
would you
reckon, bruv, it don't matter.
play? You know, even if Jose Adam was like left back, right
Even if
back.
he's playing left back, blood, he's banging it halfway line, bruv. Like this guy's an alien, innit? Like bruv. I think he's coming back. You know. You know why I say
Do you
that?
think he is?
You know why I say that, bruv? I reckon this the court case and the prison thing is the final straw for me.
He's just like, forget Spain. I'm done with this.
Yeah,
like.
I think that's what it is. I think that's what's tipped.
I have to be honest.
I don't think it's a bail thing. Bale's come out saying that he's
Yeah,
happy
he
to
literally-
stay
yeah,
now.
that's-
You know
that
why?
seems like it's
Because
dead
he
in the
knows
water.
man ain't matching the money that Real Madrid want for him.
Yeah, especially now they got the new manager as well, and he might have assurances that Ronaldo's actually gonna go, so then he could be. You lot, you see these lot, yeah, they always accuse me,
Bruv.
yeah.
If Cristiano comes back here, remember you heard it here first, innit? Because I just have a feeling, blood. I just have a
You
feeling.
feel
You
it,
see the
blood.
way he hugged the hair after that game, blood. I feel like them man know something.
I
innit?
think I have to be honest. These are always accuse me of sitting on the fence. Yeah. They always say it.
I'm
And
not sitting on the fence.
do
I'm
you know-
putting my neck on the line, blood.
Do
Cristiano,
you know what?
blood.
To a certain extent, I have to agree. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I, because you know what? I'm quite a cautious person. Just as a person, I think something, but then I think, yeah, but what about if, that's just my indecisiveness as a person. But I have to say, over the last couple of days, I have changed my stance on it. I have, because I'll admit that. I'll be the first to hold my hands up and say that, because at first I was like, do you know what? Yeah, it'd be nice, but it's more sentiment. It's more because of the love of the club.
Me too,
nice
but now it's because he's still on bits, blood.
But and then I changed it to, yeah, but if it was like 200 million, why are we going to pay that for 33?
We'll make it back in the day, blood.
Then I was like, oh, Man United, does the money really matter?
Bruv,
and I have to be honest with you, I changed my stance on that. I would take him back.
When we say it's not our money, it is our money, blood, and we want Ronaldo, blood. 200 million, we can afford it, fam. I'll buy that shirt, and I have never bought a shirt with another player's name on it.
But you're back to run.
I'll buy that.
Listen, guys, we've got to the end of the show. It's been, it's absolutely whiz by, man. Like, this is what it is, isn't it? Like, we could just do this for 2 hours, really.
Yeah,
but,
for real.
The comments that you guys have been giving us have been fantastic.
Keep them coming in. We want to know. We want to know your opinion. Would you take Ronnie back? How much would you pay for him? Like, what's the ceiling? Is there a ceiling?
Is there a ceiling? Is it just the sky's the limit?
I say get him back, fam. You know what I mean? Man will swim to Spain to secure that.
Get at us on the socials. What's yours? Twitter?
Yeah. The Twitter, Rants and Bants on Twitter. Make sure you follow that. Shout me in it, like, and make sure you leave your comments.
Leave your comments. Flex United Stand, and also remember to add the United Stand account and on Instagram as well. We need to get you guys over to Instagram. So
definitely
big push.
Yeah,
the links will all be down below, man.
Sub to everything. I got my YouTube page, Instagram, all of that, bruv. When the season starts, we're gonna keep bringing you more fire content.
Let us know. It's all about the feedback. Thanks for watching, guys.